Hey guys, so I'm gonna make Q&A number. I think we're on number 4, Q&A 4. I haven't put up a video in a while, and I've just been training really hard. But let me get you caught up here real quick. As I'm sure most of you have seen, I deadlifted. I deadlifted 855 yesterday, and I weighed 240 pounds. I did that with straps, and I'm using Pioneer Fit. I'm using their straps, the heavy duty ones, but they're about to tear because I murk all the straps I ever use. Like, they're done. Been using these straps for about 12 weeks, and most of my straps do not get past 12 weeks before they rip in half, even if they're really heavy duty. So I'm trying to get a new pair from them in time for next week. But those guys, they make some quality stuff. I ruined the straps. But yeah, pulled 855, and it was kind of on a whim because I'd been trying to do my working sets before that, and it wasn't that the plates were out to the end of the bar so much as the fact that the bar was bending so much that the plates were putting too much pressure on the collars, and the collars kept falling off. So what happened was I tried 810 for a triple, and I smoked the first 2 reps, and then on the 3rd rep I got to my knees, right above my knees, and the whip caught me, kicked the bar back down, and I lost it forward. And I was real pissed because I really felt like I had that in me, and so I was pretty mad about that because I knew I should have had it, especially seeing as how the first 2 reps came up. It's just the whip got me. So then I thought, alright, well, I'm going to load it up, try 830 for 2. And as soon as I basically budged 830, the plates fell off one side. So I got real pissed at that point and was like, alright, well, let's just load it up even more and let's put 855 on. And so I had 100-pound plates on the inside, which is why the final plates on the end are 35s instead of a 45. And that was 855. And honestly, the whip almost got me on my knees, but I got it. So all-time PR there, and if I was fresh, who knows, might have came up a little easier. But it was kind of the spur of the moment. I'm mad, and this is a life goal, so let's do it type deal or thing. And oh yeah, I'm happy I got it. In my back down sets, I did 2 sets of 6 with 725, so I'm pretty happy with that. My right rotator cuff has been strained from floor pressing, so I've pretty much given the last 5 days a rest on bench. I haven't benched or done upper body in about 5 days, but it should be good to go Monday again for these final 2 weeks of heavy training before the meet. And yeah, the meet's February 20th, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll just do some Q&A now. By the way, I'll just read this off. These were the 2 funniest comments, or maybe moronic comments, on my 855 deadlift video. We've got the first guy said, "How are your discs? I see back problems in a couple of years, maybe even paralysis." Okay, that was probably the worst comment. Second worst comment goes out to this guy, and he said, "That's a lot to lift, but I seen 1,000-pound deadlifts from kids in their late 20s in the prison system, bench press 500 plus." This is the internet, guys. This is why sometimes I just shake my head because I don't even know how to respond. But Wow. All right. Now that video is going to be up separately, by the way. I'll put the 855 up here. But let's do a little Q&A here. Let's see what we got here. We've got a guy who said, "Can you please transfer back to Trent State University? I missed that explosive Pete that I'm going to eat you alive bouncer Pete, not this fireside chat FDR calm lifting Pete." Dude, people, are you not seeing my videos? My goodness. Alright. We got another guy. What is the limit in deadlift for a natural lifter? What do you think? I mean, I was pulling 7+ natty, and supposedly people out there are doing 800+ natty, so I don't, who the hell is to say? That's not likely for most people, but it's possible. Let's see what else we got here. Alright. I'm going through random comments here. How do you keep the 45-degree back raise machine from tipping forward with that much weight? I'm not sure if I have a crappy one in my gym or whatever, but even holding a 75-pound dumbbell in each hand will make the machine tip forward. I mean, honestly, I don't even, physics, I guess, I never think about it tipping forward, because the angle is high enough. I think it's a 40 to 45 degree angle, so the machine, I don't think it can really tip. I don't know how to answer that one, man. What is the difference in terms of working the grip with the trap bar farmer walk than just a normal static hold with a barbell? Well, honestly, when you're doing the farmer walks, you're hitting your quads too. I guess it's actually a frame carry technically, but you know, I'm hitting my quads. I'm having to hold the weight while moving, which shifts it around in my hand, and that makes it a lot tougher than just simply holding a bar statically. So it's tougher. I know my answers are not the greatest today, but I'm really tired. That 8:55 took it out of me, and then I got up at 6:15 this morning. This guy says, think you'll hit a 700-pound squat in the meet? I'm honestly going to try that on my second attempt. Yeah, I definitely think that's there. So, we'll see. Do you do any close grip bench press? I don't do a lot of close grip. I was doing floor press for a while, but that seemed to rile my rotator cuff, so I'm going to do some close grip spoto presses the last 2 weeks, actually. I think close grip bench press is a great movement, though. Nothing wrong with it. Alright. That's the questions on that video. Guy says, how old am I? I'm actually 24 years old. I'll be turning 25 August 24th of this year. So plenty of time to train. Guy asked me how freaking delicious my girlfriend is. Very much so. But I'm a one lady man, guys. I believe in monogamy. So I keep it to one girl and vice versa. Okay. Guy says, did you ever have the Reese's Oreos? Yes, I did. I thought they were highly overrated. Actually, I thought they were garbage. Not impressed out of 10. 5 out of 10. Nothing even close to Red Velvet. Not that great. Very disappointing. I'm serious right now. Red Velvet is the best. Then I would say brownie, maybe. You know, these new cinnamon bun ones are pretty good, but I would give them like a 7.5 out of 10. Red Velvet's like a 9.5 out of 10. So, Joe Sullivan, he's the guy who's going to give me a run for my money at the meet. He says whoever loses buys the winner dinner. He said that's his question. And I would take you up on that, buddy, but I mean, I'm going to be busy that night, dude. I'll be doing some other stuff. So, yeah. But maybe at the Arnold Classic we can do that, which is 2 weeks later. Let's see what else we got here. Well, we got one guy who said cinnamon bun Oreos are a 9 out of 10. No, man, they're a 7.5. Jeez. You guys are being way too generous with your ratings. Okay. How do you deal with a sore, stiff lower back from squats deads? I take Epsom salt baths pretty much every day. I don't know how much it helps. Now, the guy said taurine, which does help alleviate the back pumps. He's right about that. L-taurine, or I guess it's just called taurine, basically. You can pick it up for like $8 at GNC even. That stuff is good, it'll help. But I take Epsom salt baths and then I just rest enough where I feel pretty good going into my next lower body day. Guy says, what's up with the epicondylitis? Basically, am I having issues with that anymore? Since my meet will be in a mono lift, we have to walk it out, but it's going to be in a mono lift. I actually squatted yesterday with my hands to the ends of the bar, and I had no pain in my forearms. So if I go wide enough with my grip on squats, it gets rid of all the forearm pain. All right. This video is going to be very long, by the way. We're already at 11 minutes. We're just getting warmed up here. All right. Hey, Pete, I'm currently a professional baseball player with the Tigers, minor leagues, and was wondering if you've ever worked with an athlete that plays baseball. The reason I ask is because I powerlift almost exclusively in the off-season with my best friend and have seen massive velocity jumps since I've switched to powerlifting as my main focus. Yeah, I've worked with a few baseball players. One guy in particular, I forget his name, but he got in a car accident and then he had to cut it off, but he was doing pretty well. And he was also a minor league player. I've worked with I mainly have worked with people preparing for meets and then just people looking to get strong. As far as athletes, not a ton, in all honesty, but I'm always willing to welcome an athlete on board. All right, let's see what we got here. Guy says, I've been doing low bar squat. It's great, but the pain on my shoulders and wrists is really bad. What do I do? Just what I was talking about. You're going to have to increase your shoulder mobility, or you're going to have to widen your hand position way out to the ends. Those are basically your two options. Do I know when the blue Animal Pack shirts will be available? I honestly have no idea, guys. I know we've got those, but I don't know when they're going to release them to the public. We got a guy. Have you ever slipped a disc in your low back? Nope. No back issues. Knock on wood. Cross my fingers. No serious back issues. Who are my favorite all-time favorite fighters? Any current fighters I pay attention to? That's from my boy Sean Hokinson out in California. Awesome dude. GSP was honestly my favorite fighter, and since he's kind of left, I've been a fan of McGregor just because I think he makes it interesting. His whole persona is so fascinating to me, and his strong belief system. I love that. I don't necessarily think his whole God-like persona where he thinks he's literally God. I don't necessarily agree with that, but he's a fascinating person and he backs up everything he says, so that's really cool to me. I'll be very curious to see what happens coming up here in March against RDA, so we'll see. It's going to be his toughest fight. How many hours of sleep do I get? Honestly, usually about 8 or 9. Usually. Thoughts on ab work? I think the ab work's overrated. If you're hitting the main lifts and, doing these things I do, like the frame carries with the trap bar, that destroys your core. I kind of look at it like I'm trying to maximize my training economy. So I'll be in the gym for 3 hours doing 4 movements because I'm going so heavy. It takes me so long to get through it. I don't have a lot of time to do abs and stuff. You can always do planks at home, and I think planks are probably the most effective core exercise, but in terms of training economy, I do what's most efficient, and I do things that hit core enough where I don't train it on the side. All right, this guy's asking, how many pounds does low bar add to your squat? I mean, for me, it's probably close to 80 to 100 more than high bar. It's insane. Do I know of Mike Rashid in person, or just do I know of him? Yeah, I've seen him. I've never met him or anything. All right. What are your spiritual beliefs? I'm a Christian, believe in God, but I honestly, I'm not somebody who is necessarily the best example of that. Like, you know, I'm not in church every week. I'm not reading my Bible all the time. I'm not being completely on the straight and narrow. So I do believe in God. There's been times in my life where I'll be more spiritual, much more spiritual. And I don't know if that's what he means by spiritual beliefs in terms of religion, but there's times where I'll be much more spiritual, and then it's like there's times where I'm distracted and it'll be less of a priority, if that makes sense. I think we all kind of go through those phases, but try to do what I can, although I have slacked a bit lately. Any chances of you getting kilo plates to pull at the gym? I have them sitting literally right behind me, but I don't know, like, I put the hundreds on and it gets the job done, so I don't want to haul around kilo plates. 900 in the next 10 weeks is the question. No, but I'm obviously coming somewhat close to that, and that could be a possibility during the next training cycle in, you know, summer. It could be possible, we'll see, but I'm getting close. When your hip was hurt and you couldn't squat, how did this affect your deadlift strength? Not a whole lot. If you deadlift enough, like twice a week heavy, you know, a pause day and a regular day or whatever, your deadlift's going to be strong as hell. And then I was able to do those split squats, which really kept it going along too, so that helped. Alright, how long is this video at? 17, 18 minutes? My dip strength is terrible compared to bench and overhead press. Do you think really weak dipping strength is a sign of a weakness that would help my bench? Yeah, I mean, if your dip strength is crap, that probably indicates your bench is as well, so I would get that up. I could easily dip 3 plates for probably 15 reps without even training it. So you're going to want to get that up. How did I build my quads? My quads are tiny, man. Well, he says as a taller lifter specifically. My quads are small though. I don't have much mass. I'm not the guy to ask for that. I don't have much of a sweep, and I don't really care how big they are. Like, I go in the gym, I'm not thinking like, oh, I want to put size on. It's just like I want to pick up heavy, you know, stuff, more or less. So if you want to build bigger quads, you'd squat, do leg press, stuff like that, just with a lot of volume. Can you tell some fun motivational stories from the time that you were a bouncer? It was a weird time. I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want to get myself in trouble with my girlfriend. But it was an interesting time. You know, honestly, I didn't get in a lot of fights because they would never escalate to that point. Usually I'd be so blackout rage, insane, that people just didn't want to fight. Like, people could see I was so insane when I was that mad. that they were just like, it wasn't even worth it to them, and that pretty much took care of it, more or less. Because I remember these times of just blinding trend rage, where I was just whatever, I don't even care about my well-being at that point. So people usually were just like, all right, well, I'm gonna let this one go. But so that's really why a lot of fights never cropped up. Still, the maddest time I got was when a guy disrespected me, I really felt like, because he took a beer bottle right in front of me, like standing right in front of me, and threw it at my feet. And I was like, or no, yeah, he literally throws it at my feet. And so I'm like, all right, man, go pick that up. Go pick that up and throw it away. Because I knew it was like a purposefully disrespectful thing. And then he just like laughed, and I basically went from 0 to 100 real quick. And that was the most scary anyone's ever seen me. My boss actually put other bouncers on me after that to watch me for the rest of the night. Like, I was shadowed by my own colleagues for the next, few hours, because they thought I was gonna like kill somebody. That's how upset I was. But there's not a whole lot of great stories. I did it for 3 years. It wasn't like I was in Chicago or Philadelphia or anything. It was like a college bar in Madison, Wisconsin, so nothing got too rough, Now, there was once a PTSD guy, like an old homeless guy, who I think had PTSD, and he was insane. And that was the most scared I've ever been, because he was just saying weird stuff, and I thought he was going to come back and stab me, because he kept popping in. He was literally unstable, completely unstable. So that was the worst thing, or most fear I've had while I was working that job. And I eventually just wanted to get out of it, because I knew I was pushing my luck, and sooner or later, something was going to happen. So I just didn't want that anymore. I was getting older, and it just wasn't worth it. But I met a lot of people. It's a very social job, obviously, especially when you're in college. Alright. If I were invited to the Giant Slab Deadlift World Championship, would I go? Of course. I mean, who wouldn't? That's a heck of an opportunity. It'd be really cool to be a lighter guy doing some big numbers there, too. Guy said, can you talk about your MMA training days? MMA was so hard, man. In terms of the training, exhausting. Like, it's way harder than powerlifting training. Very tiring, because you just got to put so much time in to get that good. It's like, I'm at the gym 3 hours, 4 hours training 4 or 5 days a week, but MMA, it's like cardio. It's the best way I can describe it. It's like, it's cardiovascular, so for the same amount of time. And so you got to be in some great shape. And I was like really leaned out, 215. I was weighing 215 pounds. Strength took a big hit, and it just wasn't that fun to me compared to lifting. Like, I didn't like being weaker, honestly. But I had a lot of fun, especially with when I just got to roll with people. I loved it, I loved just having, there's a guy in front of you and you try to tap each other out. Like, that was my favorite part. But it affected my strength too much, and that was the real deciding factor and why I didn't want to do it anymore. Oh my goodness, what a phenomenal question. Thoughts on Boston cream pie toaster strudels? Dude, that is the all-time master toaster strudel. That is the 10 out of 10 toaster strudel, best flavor out of any of them. Incredible. My goodness, if you find that, you have to buy it, guys. It's just that good. At 17, can you share your cycle? I think he's talking about 17 minutes into my last video. Because I mean, I wasn't cycling anything at 17 except my mongoose mountain bike, like I said. I'm gonna cut the video off there. I got most of the questions. Yeah, I think that's a good one. We're at 25 minutes, so I'm gonna call it there, guys.